I rise this evening to speak on the issue of the AGL well blowout at Camden on May the 17th. As honourable members will remember, this incident occurred on May the 17th this year at the AGL Sugarloaf 3 coal seam gas well at Camden in the southwest of this city, just adjacent to the suburb of Glenalpine. Now, whilst visiting the site and talking to some landholders down there and talking to the Scenic Hills Association and others concerned about coal seam gas, we were filming and doing a little bit of video for the website, and lo and behold, behind me I witnessed a coal seam gas well suddenly explode. I had nothing to do with it. I had nothing to do with it. And then it did explode. And it did start spewing an unknown thick white foam substance into the air. The substance, we're not into black ops, don't worry. The substance being ejected gradually came a liquid aerosol and drifted towards the suburb of Glenalpine. Now listen, you should listen, because you're going to have to form a view. Given the widely known and toxic chemicals that are used in coal seam gas drilling and the well's proximity to the suburbs and drinking water infrastructure of Sydney, I was very concerned about the incident, and I raised my concerns both in this chamber, with the government departments and in the community. On 27th of May, in response to a question from me, Minister Greg Pearce informed the House that an interdepartmental investigation headed by the Office of Environment and Heritage was underway. Honourable members would be very interested to know that with some prompting we have had a result, and a very concerning result it is. I would like to inform the House by quoting directly from the warning letter that was sent from the Office of Environment and Heritage to AGL, and it states that OEH has determined that the degasser unit was not being operated in a proper and efficient manner. The regulator, OEH, stated that it reminds AGL that all breaches of the Protection of the Environmental Operations Act 1997 are taken very seriously. The OEH has stated that an appropriate regulatory response in this incident is to issue a formal and official warning to AGL upstream investments. Further, the OEH determined that AGL had been remiss in their management of the CSG bore well. Now, honourable members may think that this should be the end of the matter. Well, unfortunately, I do not think it is so. The reason I say this is because we are yet to see, and I am determined that we will see, the analysis of exactly what was in the foam that was discharged over the suburbs of Campbelltown. It is unknown, but what we do know is that, and I quote from the letter, was that the independent soil sampling was undertaken by consultants for AGL. So the whole investigation is dependent on AGL's own investigation. I don't think that's good enough. I think it's indicative of how this industry has rolled out across the state. There's been numerous instances just like this. I mean, this would not have been brought to the attention of the Office of Environment and Heritage or the community had I not been there. The same can be said of the issue at the Pilliga, which the honourable members opposite would be interested to know the claim that was made against myself and my office that somehow we may have been involved in tampering. Well, that's been put to bed because I'm informed that a number of departmental representatives have visited the site. Senators have visited the site as part of the Senate inquiry and saw exactly the same things that I saw. So it's not good enough for this industry to self-regulate. It hasn't been proven safe. There's enormous community concern. I noticed that the Labor Party today, and I congratulate the government in supporting the GPSC 5 inquiry into coal seam gas, but belatedly today the Labor Party has announced a task force into coal seam gas. After rolling out coal seam gas across the state, they've now decided to have a task force headed up by the Honourable Luke. No, not the Honourable, the former Honourable Tony Kelly and Ian McDonald. It's, I think, Luke Foley and Steve Wan have taken a particular interest in this inquiry. That's interesting. They've just discovered the issue, but I'm sure the inquiry, as it travels around the state, will see these issues, and ultimately the Labor Party and this Parliament is going to have to come to a decision. I think we need a moratorium while the inquiry is in place, because these issues are occurring across the state. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President.